Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Throughout history, humans have pushed the boundaries of what's possible, driven by an insatiable hunger for progress. But what happens when the very inventions meant to propel us forward become the architects of their creator's doom? Welcome to 10 inventors killed by their own creations. Number 10. The deadly dawn of automobiles. As the 19th century waned and the 20th dawned, a revolution was brewing on the streets of the world. The automobile, a marvel of engineering, promised to shrink distances and change lives. But for four pioneering inventors, it would change much more than that. First, we have Sylvester H. Roper, the visionary behind the steam velocipede, a primitive motorcycle. A public speed trial was held where Roper, determined to prove his invention's worth, pushed his creation to its limits, but fate had other plans. As Roper's heart gave out, so did his control of the machine. In a cruel twist, his creation became his casket. But Roper wasn't alone in this tragic fate. William Nelson, Francis Edgar Stanley, and Fred Duesenberg, names that echo through automotive history, each met their end at the hands of their mechanical progeny. Nelson, crushed by his motorized bicycle in 1903, Stanley, sacrificing himself to save others, drove his Stanley steamer into a woodpile in 1918. And Duesenberg, the man who gave America some of its most powerful cars, was claimed by a high-speed crash in 1932. 4 men, 4 dreams, 4 deadly outcomes. The price of progress paid in blood. Number 9. The flying car that fell from the sky. Fast forward to 2009. The world was changing rapidly, and Michael Robert Dacre had a vision to change it even more. A flying car that could transform urban transportation. The Avcen jet pod was his brainchild, a compact aircraft designed to navigate city skies with ease. Businessmen zipping between skyscrapers, traffic jams becoming a thing of the past, Dacre's dream was audacious, revolutionary, and ultimately fatal. On that fateful August day, as Dacre took to the skies for a test flight, the future seemed within reach, but sometimes reaching too far can lead to a devastating fall. Barely 1,000 feet in the air, the jet pod became uncontrollable. Dacre, the visionary who dreamed of conquering the urban skies, plunged to the earth, trapped in his own creation. In the blink of an eye, a dream of the future became a cautionary tale of the present. Number 8. The parachute that failed to open. Let's transport ourselves to Paris, 1912. The Eiffel Tower, that iron giant, stands tall against the sky. At its base, a crowd gathers, necks craned, eyes wide. They're about to witness history, but not the kind they expected. Enter Franz Reichelt, known as the Flying Tailor. For years, he had obsessed over creating the perfect parachute, one that could save lives. Little did he know his invention would claim his own. With cameras rolling and hearts pounding, Reichelt donned his self-made parachute. He climbed to the edge of the Eiffel Tower, 187 feet above the unforgiving ground. The crowd held its breath. Reichelt hesitated for a moment, perhaps sensing the gravity of what was to come. Then, he jumped. But instead of a triumphant descent, the crowd witnessed a horrifying plunge. Reichelt's parachute, his life's work, failed to deploy. In a matter of seconds, the Flying Tailor sadly became the Falling Tailor, his dream of flight ending in a tragic impact. Reichelt's leap of faith became a cautionary tale, a reminder that sometimes the line between innovation and disaster is terrifyingly thin. Number 7. The ferry that claimed its creator. From the heights of Paris, we move to the waters of New Brunswick, Canada. Here we find the story of William Pitt, a man who dedicated his life to revolutionizing ferry transportation. For over 30 years, Pitt was a cornerstone of his community. His ferries weren't just modes of transport, they were lifelines, connecting people and places across the Kennebecasis River. In 1903, Pitt unveiled his magnum opus, an underwater cable system that would change ferry operations forever. It was ingenious, efficient, and sadly, deadly. Fast forward to 1909. Pitt, ever the hands-on inventor, was maintaining his beloved system. But in a cruel twist of fate, the very machinery he created to help others became his downfall. Caught in its gears, Pitt's life was tragically cut short. The man who had spent his life helping others cross safely had made his final crossing. Today, a ferry named William Pitt II still operates on that route, a bittersweet tribute to the inventor who gave his life to his passion. Number 6. The luxury train car's final passenger. The golden age of rail travel was a time of opulence and innovation. At its heart stood Webster Wagner, the man who brought luxury to the railways. His sleeping cars and parlor cars transformed train travel from a necessity into an experience. Wagner's success carried him beyond the railways and into politics, serving in the New York State Assembly. But fate had a cruel irony in store for this titan of transportation. January 13, 1882, Wagner boarded one of his luxurious train cars, admiring the craftsmanship and comfort he had created. Little did he know he was stepping into his own coffin. In a catastrophic collision, Wagner's life was snuffed out, crushed between the very cars he had designed for comfort and safety. The man who had revolutionized train travel unluckily met his end as a passenger on his own creation. Number 5. The high-speed rail to oblivion. Now, let's speed across the Atlantic to Russia, where young Valerian Abakovsky dreamed of revolutionizing transportation. His vision? The Aerowagon, a high-speed rail car propelled by an airplane engine. Picture this, a train that could zip across the vast Russian landscape at unprecedented speeds. It was bold, it was revolutionary, it was deadly. July 24, 1921. The Aerowagon was ready for its maiden voyage. Abakovsky, barely 25 years old, had convinced a group of Soviet officials to join him on his historic journey. As the Aerowagon hurtled down the tracks, Abakovsky must have felt a surge of pride. But pride, as they say, comes before a fall. In a disastrous failure, the Aerowagon derailed at high speed. The dream of a new era in transportation ended in a tangle of metal and broken bodies. Abakovsky and his passengers paid the ultimate price for pushing the boundaries of speed. Number 4. The Rocket Man's final flight. Fast forward to 2020. The California desert stretches out, a perfect canvas for daring feats. Enter Mad Mike Hughes, a man determined to prove the Earth was flat by launching himself into the sky. Hughes wasn't just an eccentric flat Earth believer, he was a self-taught rocket scientist. His homemade rockets were a testament to his ingenuity and his recklessness. February 22, 2020. As cameras rolled and onlookers held their breath, Hughes' steam-powered rocket roared to life. For a moment, it seemed like Mad Mike might just touch the sky. But something went terribly wrong. The parachute, meant to bring Hughes safely back to Earth, deployed early. It tore away from the rocket, leaving Hughes with no way to slow his descent. In a heartbeat, Hughes' quest for the stars ended in tragedy. The man who refused to believe in a round Earth fell victim to its unforgiving gravity. Number 3. The glider's fatal flaw. Before the Wright brothers took to the skies, there was Otto Lilienthal, the flying man of Germany. His hang glider designs weren't just experiments, they were the foundation of modern aviation. For years, Lilienthal, soaring through the air, defying gravity with his cloth and wood contraptions, pushed the boundaries of what was possible, inspiring a generation of dreamers. But on August 9, 1896, the skies he loved so much betrayed him. 50 feet up, Lilienthal's glider stalled. In an instant, the father of flight became its victim. As he plummeted to Earth, Lilienthal would never have realized that his legacy would soar long after his fall. The next day, with his last breath, Lilienthal uttered, "Sacrifices must be made," a chilling epitaph for a man who gave his life to the dream of human flight. Number 2. The pulley system's deadly tangle. Thomas Midgley Jr. was a man of contradictions. The inventor of leaded gasoline and CFCs, his creations would later be banned for their environmental impact. But it wasn't his infamous inventions that claimed his life. Stricken with polio in 1940, Midgley refused to be confined to his bed. his inventor's mind got to work, creating an elaborate system of ropes and pulleys to help him move. But in 1944, this ingenious device became a death trap. Midgley, entangled in his own creation, died of strangulation. The man who had changed the world with his inventions met his end in a tragically domestic scene. Was it an accident, or had Midgley, facing a life of disability, engineered his own end? We may never know. Number 1. The submarine's watery grave. Our final tale takes us back to 1774, to the shores of Plymouth, England. Meet John Day, a carpenter with a dream of exploring the ocean depths. Day's diving chamber was primitive by today's standards, a wooden capsule attached to a boat, but to the 18th century mind, it was revolutionary. Driven by curiosity and a daring bet, Day sealed himself inside his creation, ready to plumb the depths of Plymouth Sound. As onlookers watched, Day's submarine sank beneath the waves. They waited for it to resurface, but the minutes turned to hours, and Day never returned. In pushing the boundaries of exploration, Day had unwittingly written his own epitaph. His body and his invention remained somewhere in the murky depths, a testament to the high price of progress. These 10 stories serve as a chilling reminder of the risks inherent in innovation. Which of these tales of innovation and tragedy did you find interesting? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video with friends and family. And while you're at it, do check out other awesome videos on the channel as well. We'll see you in the next video.